Yay, this hangout is live. Okay, so you're hearing something, but you are not seeing me. So let's fix that. Okay, so it should be this camera, that's why. And then it should be me any minute. Save. Ta-da! Yay! So we're live with the Opt-in and List Growth Workshop for Business Goddesses. These are the ladies that are in the 7 Chakra Business Model Group for Leonie Dawson's Shining Life and Biz Academy. So while we're waiting to see who's going to hop on the call here, we'll give it a couple of minutes and see who hops on. So since this is going to be recorded, and then it'll go out to everybody who was interested in finding out more stuff about the how to create a great opt-in and how to grow your list and all of that cool stuff. I'll just go ahead and real briefly introduce myself. So I am not an online marketer per se. So let me start off with that. What I wanted to do was create a space for us to all share our best marketing tips. And I am Carisa Montooth. I am a love coach and an energy healer. And I help single women get more dates with marriage-minded men. And we use all kinds of stuff to do that. So anyway, that's what I do. And so as I was growing my list recently and noticing that a few things were working really well for me, I wanted to just have a chance to share those things with other people. And I wanted to invite all my Biz Goddess sisters that are in the 7 Chakra Business Group that Alexis put together for us, which is such a great space for us all to be in. I wanted to give all my sisters and sister Biz Goddesses in that group a chance to also share their tips and to get some inspiration and encouragement from each other so that we can test out new things for the opt-ins. Yay! So let's see. In the group chat, go ahead and say who you are if you're here, and we got a couple different things that we can do. You can just type in a question in the group chat, and I think we can share the camera if you want to be on the mic and do all that stuff too. If not, then I'll just respond to the questions as I see them in the group chat. But and also, if you hear a question and you want to respond to it, respond in the group chat, because this is a space for us. It's not like my workshop. I just created it for us so that we could all be here and share tips together. So to give people a chance to start kind of arriving and typing in their questions and stuff like that, I wanted to just kind of go first and share some of the things that worked out really well for me or that were really helpful for me, some resources that worked really well for me. One of them is there is an online marketing woman who's really good. Her name is Camilla Gornia. And if you go to Camilla Gornia's website, she's got an awesome opt-in that is the 7 steps that you need for a good opt-in. Her opt-in is great. So here's her website, CamillaGornia.com. I'm typing it into the chat box so people can see it there. She's got a really awesome 7-step check sheet that you can use to make sure that your opt-in is really good. When I didn't use her opt-in, when I didn't use that checklist, I had like barely anybody signing up to my list. Now that I'm using her checklist, I get at least 1 or 2 opt-ins a day, or at least between the time I started using hers and when I just started doing Facebook ads real recently. But it's an awesome, her checklist is great because I know you got like me, I had a lot of questions about, is my opt-in okay, and all these other things. And it really helps you narrow down on like what people are going to want to have. But the thing about it is that you have to be super clear. It helps you to be super clear about who you serve and what you do for them. Those are really big deals. Before, when I wasn't as clear about that, and I'd say stuff like, I'm going to help you have satisfying relationships for blah, 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 nobody really got what my opt-in was. They didn't get what that means. If you are real vague about like what you do for people and who you help because you want to be super broad and you want to help all of these people, you actually don't end up connecting with anybody because nobody knows if what you're doing is for them or not. And they want to find out really quickly, like, is what you do for me or not? So it helps to be super clear about who you serve. When I started doing that work based on creating the opt-in around what Camilla does in her check sheet, it helped me be super clear. And so now when I'm saying what do I do for people and who do I help and what do I do for them, it's super clear. I help single women get more dates and attention from marriage-minded men. That's what I do. And hopefully, if you can be super clear like that, then you'll connect with people that want to help you or want your services so that you can help them, want to share your gifts. Another thing that's really helpful for a good opt-in that I've noticed from my results is like if a lot of times we want to talk to people about the process that we're going to take them through because we love the process and we're really, really good at it, but they don't really care that much about the process. They want to know what you're going to do for them, like what the end result's going to be. So that's a really big deal. When I started saying get more dates, that was a measurable, clear thing that people could remember, and it was a result. So it was really helpful. If anybody else has stuff that they want to say, chime in. I can see there are a couple of viewers. So go ahead and chime in the chat box and just type in whatever your question is that you want to make sure that everybody on the call gets a chance to hear and answer for you. And in the meantime, just like while we're waiting for more people to come on the call and to give people a chance to type in questions, I'm just talking, about opt-in stuff that worked for me in the hopes that someone else out there might be able to use those suggestions because they worked pretty well for me. Oh, another thing that helped me get more opt-ins is to start putting my opt-in, the little field for the opt-in so people could sign up, the little email field, in more places all over my website. Sometimes, and you need to check and see, like, does most of the traffic to your website come, are people mostly looking at it on a mobile device, or are they mostly looking at it on a desktop? Because you want to make sure if they're mostly looking at it on a mobile device, then you want to make sure that your opt-in looks good on a mobile device. If you've got a whole bunch of stuff on your website, like I had a whole bunch of stuff on my website, it made it hard for people to actually opt in because there was a bunch of stuff that would come up in the way of the opt-in, and so they couldn't really see my opt-in. So check and see if most of your traffic is coming from, if most of the people are looking at your website on a mobile device. If you've got a Squarespace website, it makes it so easy to look at all of that stuff. But I'm sure there are WordPress plugins that help do that too. And you can do that through Google Analytics if you set up your account in Google Analytics. This isn't really like a big workshop about Google Analytics or about Squarespace versus WordPress, so I won't get too much into those things because that's like each of those topics is its own workshop that we can do if people want to, but that's not really what we're doing today. What else? Okay, so put your opt-in all over your website if it works out. If you can do that in a way where it's not messing it up when people look at it on their cell phones or whatever mobile device they're looking at it from. So that's a good thing. If you can put it in your sidebar, put it in your sidebar. If you can make it a pop-up, make it a pop-up. There are all kinds of pop-up plugins on WordPress. I used to have a WordPress website, so there are all kinds of great pop-up plugins. I think Opt-in Monster lets you do a pop-up on WordPress, and you can customize it in a lot of different ways. So if you can do a pop-up, that's great. You can do pop-ups that are really beautiful and that really get people's attention, and they don't have to be annoying. And a good use of a pop-up is to have it pop up when they are going away from your website, because sometimes people are just clicking off of your website because they didn't really see the value immediately. But if you have a pop-up and let them opt in, and you're like, before you go, get your free online class for whatever. Before you go, make sure you sign up to the email list and get your discount, or whatever it is that you're advertising. Before you go, sign up and get this in your inbox free, is like a really convenient way of just getting people on. It's a really convenient way for them to just sign up for what you're doing if it's something that's useful for them. And it helps because if they couldn't figure out from your website what exactly you do, you have a chance in your pop-up to be super clear about it, like right away as they're on their way out. So that is something that's helpful. Another thing is, make sure you advertise your opt-in on your social media. Think of it like a little tiny mini product launch that you're doing, and tell people about it on your social media as much as you can. You can do it on Twitter. You can post about it on Twitter if you have a Twitter account. There's this other service called Co-Promote that you can use with your Twitter account, and you can get other people to promote your tweets for free. And if you set up your opt-in like that, and then have a tweet about your opt-in, so you have a tweet with a link to your opt-in. Like for me, I tweeted something like, become a man magnet in 2016, because my opt-in is a free online video class, and it's in 3 10-minute segments. So it's called Becoming an Irresistible Man Magnet in 30 Minutes. So when I did it on Twitter, I said something like, become a man magnet in 30 minutes, or do you have a richer love life in 2016, or different things like that. And then I had a link to my opt-in. So then I tweeted that out, right? And so people could retweet it and share it. But I also joined Co-Promote, which was free. And on Co-Promote, other people that have like a similar vibe to what they're doing as you do, they can promote your tweets to their followers, and you can promote their tweets to your followers. So you get like way more people looking at your tweet that has your opt-in link than you would otherwise, and it's free. So that's something that you can do on Twitter to promote your opt-in. And then another thing that you can do is you can do Facebook ads for your opt-in. And when I first started doing Facebook ads for opt-ins, I had no luck at all, and it sucked, and I sunk a whole bunch of money into it, and I hated it. Then I took a class by this gentleman. His name is Jerry Banfield, and I'm typing it into the chat window now. He teaches classes on Udemy. And if you go to his website, to get the classes, which is www.jerrybanfield.com. Then he teaches classes, I'll put that into, he teaches classes about all kinds of different, like getting more traffic to your website through Facebook ads, or selling your products through Facebook ads, or getting more traffic to your website through Twitter, through YouTube, combining YouTube and Twitter, and all these different things. And his classes are really easy to understand. And if you go to his website, then you can get his classes, which are normally like close to $200 if you go straight to Udemy. You get his classes. Sorry.
Please leave a
You can get his classes for, I think, like $25 instead of $200. So go to his website for sure if you want to do. If you want to get some training for how to go like in depth into some pay-per-click advertising, and you don't want to waste money, and you're willing to like start investing in some advertising, but you want to make sure that you're doing it right so you get a good return on that investment, he's got great classes for that, Jerry Banfield. And I'm just putting in, Jerry Banfield teaches pay-per-click advertising on Twitter, for Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. So you can learn how how to, make the most of a little ad budget. And of course, if you don't have the budget really right now in your business, because like a lot of us don't, and we're not, a lot of us aren't at the point yet where our business is like self-sustaining. So, I know what it's like where everything you're investing into your business is coming out of your household budget because your business isn't really self-sustaining yet. And so sometimes, you don't really want to spend a whole lot of money on advertising yet, till you get more income coming into your business. So if you're thinking of ways to, I'll talk about Facebook ads in a second, but if you're looking for some more like free ways to increase your traffic to your website, the best thing to do is just to start guest posting and getting guest interviews on blogs. So a really good and easy way to start getting traffic to your opt-in, free traffic to your opt-in, is to go to a website that's called Help a Reporter Out. So it's HARO.com. And they put requests from different reporters there for guest experts to interview. So you can check it out and see if anyone is requesting to interview someone with your expertise for their article. And that helps to drive some free traffic to your website for your opt-in so that those people can get on your list. So if you're looking for a way to do that, you can go to HARO.com, which stands for Help a Reporter Out. Let me make it an actual clickable link there. And then another thing that you can do is you can go to, there's one that does that for podcasts, and it's called, oh my gosh, what is it called? Let me look at really quickly here at my email and I'll tell you what it's called. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But I will put it when I repost this. I'll put the link to it in there. I think it's called like guest email list or something like that. Email guest email. Oh, radio guest list. That's what it's called. radioguestlist.com. So radioguestlist.com is a good way to get to look for podcasts that have something to do with what you're doing. And what's really great about radioguestlist.com and getting traffic to your opt-in that's free through radioguestlist.com is that it gives you free exposure, to a bigger audience, and they have all kinds of different podcasts on there. So when you sign up, it's a free subscription kind of a service, and they just send you emails and they say, these are all the people doing podcasts. This is what their podcast is like. This is what their audience is like. This is what they're looking for. These are the kind of guest experts they want to interview, and here's the contact information. And I've gotten like 4 guest interviews from podcasts through radioguestlist.com. And another thing that you can do if you want to get free traffic, or you want to get on a podcast to be a guest, to be interviewed as a guest speaker, or have a guest interview spot, guest expert. That's what I mean, because you are a guest expert. What you can do is you can go to iTunes. You can look up podcasts, and you can just start searching under podcasts that are in the area that is close to what you do, and then just approach those people individually and say, oh, I want to be on your podcast. This is what I like to talk about. This is, my area of expertise. And then every time that you are on a podcast with somebody, you just make sure that you kind of rehearse a little 30-second thing about what you want to say at the end of it, like as you're kind of signing off. You want to get really smooth with how you introduce yourself, like an what I do again is I say, my name's Carisa Montooth. I'm a love coach and an energy healer, and I help single women get more dates and attention from marriage-minded men. So that's what I do. I don't help single women get more attention from married men. That's a problem. Just when you're doing podcasts and stuff like that, as you're trying to build more free traffic to your website for your opt-in, think about like a quick 20 seconds or 30 seconds that you can say about who you are, who you help, and what you do for them, the result they can expect from working with you. Think about that and kind of have something that feels very natural and that's very clear that you can say at the beginning of the podcast. And then at the end, always, always, always send people to your website for your opt-in. And, you can just always say something like, I say, if you want to be magnetic to men, if you want to attract the right kind of men and get more attention from marriage-minded men, see, you have to practice like I have to practice. If you want to get more attention from marriage-minded men, then go to my website, and then I give them the link, and it's carisamontooth.com/man-magnet. And you can get the free online class, Becoming an Irresistible Man Magnet in 30 minutes. So know what you want to say to them to send them back to your opt-in, so that you can always say that at the end. And you can always just say, I sometimes just tell people, go to my website, it's carisamontooth.com, and I spell that for them because my opt-in's already all over my website. So once they get there, if they liked what they heard in the podcast and they want to hear more about me, they can go there, and I can always say to them, go to my website and you can get my free class, Becoming an Irresistible Man Magnet in 30 minutes. And then I give them my website. So just get an idea of, like, when you're doing the podcast, the thing that trips people up so often is, like, they worry that they're not going to know what to say. So they try to do a bunch of research about different things before they go on the podcast. If you're going to a podcast because you want free traffic to your website, don't worry as much about what you're going to say when you get there, because they'll ask you questions, and that part will feel really natural. The part you'll forget is you'll forget to give your opt-in to do a call to action at the end for your opt-in. So practice that so that you can remember it. And the other thing that people often forget is they don't have like a smooth way of saying who they are and what they do. And that's super, super important, because if you can't say that, if I ask you, so what do you do? Who do you help and what do you do for them? And you're like, I help anyone who wants to be enlightened through the process of blah, blah, blah. If you're like going on and on and on about, like, they have these qualities of this and that, and they're ready to blah, blah, blah. It's like, it has to be super clear about like who you help. Like, do you help mostly women? Do you help mostly men? Do you help people who are married? Do you help people that are single? Do you help artists? Do you help other coaches? Who is it that you help? Even if you're an artist, there are people that your art is for, and they have a characteristic. And there's like there's an artist who does this really well. They say, I think she says, like, bold art for bold minds. And it's just like super clear what she's talking about and who it's for, right? And that's 4 words. So even if you're an artist, you can be super clear about who your work is for and what it does for them, right? So podcasts, we talked about help a reporter out as ways of getting free traffic to your website for your opt-in. What else? Oh, another thing that's really helpful is make your opt-in as good as a paid product. That's super important. And even things that you don't think people would pay for, like one of the things that I help my clients with is I talk to them about 5 specific places that they can go to meet men who are ready to get married. And I talk to them about when they should go there and what to do when they get there. So if you're like single and you're having a hard time meeting men who are interested in the kind of relationship that you're interested in, and then they're at the same, mental space and emotional space as you, that list of things and those instructions is a valuable product for you, right? So don't think that just because your opt-in is a list that it's not going to be valuable, or that you have to get into like a long ebook, or you have to get into a bunch of different videos or anything like that. If your if your opt-in solves a specific problem for people that they would pay money to solve, then it's valuable. So aim for that, like an opt-in that's really valuable because it solves a specific problem that people would pay to solve. And also think about how people who would want your opt-in, create an opt-in for people that would also be an easy tie-in for them to work with you, like for them to want your services or your other products. So for example, my opt-in is, the becoming an irresistible man magnet in 30 minutes, right? So women who are interested in doing that, they're going to get a lot out of that opt-in, right? And it's going to change the way that they relate to men, and it's going to change the attention they're getting from men. And they're going to feel really good about that. And then they're going to be like, okay, what can I do? What can I do if I want to go deeper into this? Like, what can I do to attract a person with specific qualities or makes me feel a specific way? Or how can I release my the blocks or the grief that I need to heal so that I can bring this person in? They're going to be wanting to go to the next level, and those are all the things that I help them with. So when you're doing your opt-in, think about, like, if this person had this problem, like if you're a business coach, one of the biggest things that people want to know or want help with is figuring out what kind of business they should have. So if your opt-in helps them do that, then once they've figured out what kind of business they should have, a really natural next step is to connect with you, because you can help them create it. Like, you can help them to give it some structure. If you're a product-based business, right, and not a service-based business like a coach, a lot of us are coaches, but if you have a product-based business, one thing that you can do is you can offer discounts for signing up like a discount coupon for signing up to your email list. You can offer to them that they'll be the first to know when a new product is released, is launched. And you can offer like limited edition products to just your mailing list. You can offer sales that only go to your mailing list. So they only get the discount price if they are on your mailing list, because they're your VIPs. If you're a local business, you can offer to them, like a free coffee or something for them to come in if they bring their printed out, email, or whatever makes sense that you can give away, in your business, or a special event to only your VIP people, where you make like a more intimate setting in your store or in your whatever, and it's like a special event just for VIPs, and it's like a champagne, a cocktail hour or something like that. So there are a lot of different things you can do, even if you have like a bricks and mortar business, or even if you are selling a specific product and you're trying to get out to people. One place that has a product that they sell that I would encourage you to check out, because they're so good at the opt-in and they're so good at their advertising and their branding and all this stuff, is Poo-Pourri. So if you've ever checked out Poo-Pourri, they're a really good model of how to do a good opt-in if you have a product-based business. They're awesome for that. So the company, again, is called Poo-Pourri, and they make this awesome little spray. Check them out as an example for how to do an opt-in if you're a product-based business. So Poo-Pourri, oh my gosh, awesome. Check their branding is like kind of cheeky and funny, and their whole thing is that you're wanting to be very ladylike, and that's why you don't want the bathroom to be stinky when you've left it. You just have to check out their branding. It's hilarious, and it's also classy, and it's super funny, and it's just really, really great. So if you're trying to figure out how to do an opt-in for a product-based business, like where to put it on your website, what kind of thing you could give away, check that out, because they are really, really good at that. Huh, that's really weird. So I just got a little message from somebody saying that they are not interested in attending this workshop, which is weird because if you're not interested in attending, then you don't have to go through the trouble to let me know that. That's okay. I love it when people say I'm not interested, or I might be interested in attending. If you might be interested in attending, but you don't know for sure, it's all right. Don't waste your energy letting anybody know about that. It's okay. Just show up if it's info that you need. So those are some good things to get you going. Another thing is in the Biz and Life Academy. So there are going to be people that are listening to this. They're not in the Biz and Life Academy. So if you're not in Leonie Dawson's Shining Biz and Life Academy, then get into it. Because it's awesome. But if you are already in there, then check out the Double Your Mailing List Challenge in the Academy, because there's a coaching call in there where Leonie goes through like 3 different people's websites and she tells them what they can change to get more traffic and get more signups on their mailing list. And so if any of that stuff applies to you, it'll be super helpful for you to listen to that call. You can also just read the transcript if you don't want to listen to the whole call. So people are kind of popping in and out of the call, and I'm not sure if anybody has specific questions or anything like that. But in the interest of, if there aren't any specific questions, if you want to type into the chat, you can, and I'll stick around for a little bit. If not, then we'll just sign off in a minute here. But let's see, anything else that would be helpful for you? So to just kind of sum up, Camilla Gornia is an awesome marketing professional who can help you. Her free giveaway when you sign up to her email list is a 7-step checklist for creating an awesome opt-in. And when I started using it, I definitely had an increase in my signups. So go to CamillaGornia.com. It's Kamila Gornia, GORNIA.com. Check out her free giveaway that you get when you sign up to her email list, because it's how to create an awesome giveaway, how to create an awesome opt-in, and it works. So that's the first thing. If you're trying to learn how to do some Facebook advertising to build your mailing list and stuff like that, Jerry Banfield teaches Udemy classes, and they are awesome. And you can get them for, instead of the $200 you'd pay through Udemy, go through Jerry Banfield's website and you'll get the classes for a huge, huge discount. So instead of $200, you'll get it for like $25 if you go through his website. It's Jerry Banfield, JerryBanfield.com, and that link is in the chat box. And so if you're trying to build your mailing list and you're wanting to invest in some advertising to do that, you're at that point, but you want to invest wisely, so you want to use strategies that actually work, take his classes because they're awesome. He does such a great job. It's very clear step-by-step stuff, and it's just really well done, and you get results. It's how his class is how I grew my Facebook following from like 200 people to over 11,000 followers. So he's got great tips to help you use those things to get more exposure and get more mailing list signups. Another thing is, if you're trying to get more visibility in general and you want to have some free traffic to your website and your opt-in to build your list, you can check out Help a Reporter Out, which is HARO.com. And on haro.com, you can sign up for free, and they'll send you an email, and it'll be a whole bunch of different articles that are being written, and they all want guest experts to interview, and they're separated out by category. So they'll be like business and finance, looking for an expert who can talk about how millennials should enter the workforce, all the way to like looking for help with Christmas, help for picking Christmas gifts or whatever it is. They're all organized that way so that when you get the email, you look at it and you know if somebody wants a guest expert with your expertise, and then you can just reach out to that person and let them know that you want to be interviewed for their article, and and hopefully get picked for that. And then another way that you can get free exposure to send traffic back to your website, to your opt-in, is to use radioguestlist.com. And I put that link in the chat box. Also, radioguestlist.com is like Help a Reporter Out, but with podcasts. So a lot of different people that are podcasting, if they want someone with your guest expertise, you sign up to radioguestlist.com. You get it, it's free. Haro and radioguestlist.com are both free. You get an email with a list of all the different podcasts that need guest experts and what their audience is like, so you can know how many people you can reach, what their audience is looking for, so you can get an idea of like what you might want to talk to them about or what you might want to pitch to them about as the subject for your interview. And they'll tell you how to get in contact with them so that you can ask, so that you can put yourself forward as a guest expert to be interviewed. So those are great ways to get some free traffic to your website for your opt-in and to get more list growth. And just about the actual opt-in itself, make it super clear who it's for and what the result is that they're going to get. A lot of times people are like, sign up to find out more or something like that, and it's not super clear. They have to know, in order for people to want to sign up to your list, they need to know that it's for them and that there's going to be a specific result. So again, like an example that I use is, before, when I didn't have a real clear opt-in, I didn't really get a lot of traffic. But as soon as I changed my opt-in to becoming an irresistible man magnet in 30 minutes, it's memorable, it's clear, it tells you who it's for, it gives you the result. It gives you the result in a specific amount of time. So those are all really super clear things that help people when they want to get, when they're thinking about signing up for an opt-in. Leonie Dawson uses an example of when she had her opt-in initially, it was all, it was information, there were meditations and free things like that for feeling more like a goddess. And when she changed hers to like something like be a goddess in 10 minutes or something like that, which is real similar, I modeled mine after what she was doing. She started to see a lot of increase in her opt-ins too, because people were like, oh, 10 minutes to becoming a goddess. It was like, oh, that's awesome. It tells me it tells me that it's for me. It tells me what it's going to do. It tells me how much time it's going to take. Like, yeah, I want to sign up for that. So think about those things when you're signing up, when you're creating your opt-in and when you're creating a title for it. So I don't have any questions coming into the chat box, but those are all of the tips that I'm going to share. And I hope that something in that will be helpful for you for when you're trying to create your opt-in and when you're wanting to increase the growth of your mailing list. And I hope that you have a fantastic and wonderful day. And if you are interested in becoming a man magnet in 30 minutes, you can check out my opt-in, which is becoming an irresistible man magnet in 30 minutes. And I will put it here in the chat box if anybody wants to check it out. And you have a fabulous, fabulous day. Take care. Bye.